So I'm excited that you invited us to celebrate this purchase of your first home. Thank you so much. It was amazing being at our housewarming party about a couple weeks ago. And from it, I have to tell you that I'm proud of you for two reasons. Number one, I'm proud of you because this is your first purchase.
Yes.
And it's an achievement that not a lot of people are able to obtain in their lifetime. And number two, you purchased this home with a VA loan.
Yes.
Thank you for your service.
Of course.
Yes.
Thank you for that.
And I feel like it's an important topic to cover because I've been selling real estate for 15 years and I can literally count on one hand the number of VA loans I've dealt with.
Oh, wow.
And I feel like it's just based on the fact that a lot of people have these unfounded beliefs about VA loans that are obviously not true. You're living proof that a lot of the stigma around these loans are untrue. So I'm hoping that my first question for you is just understanding your journey and getting here, just to help fellow vets understand that it's not as daunting and difficult as they might think.
Yes. So for my journey, the journey actually started before the COVID incident, right?
Okay.
So I knew I wanted to buy a house during COVID, and I was making the best income I possibly could, right? By going to school full time while also working a job on the side, right?
Wow.
Because as a veteran, you get paid to go to college, right? As
Yeah.
long as your grades are great. And on the side, I was working for a company I was with for almost 10 years. So I had two different incomes coming in and I was living very comfortably. And then COVID happened and all that came to a sudden stop. Dreams of being a homeowner came to a sudden stop because I was no longer making the income I have to pay off these loans, right? And at the same time, I was only working maybe twice a week, twice every 2 weeks. So with that being said, I had to pull the reins on being a homeowner until recently when I decided to say, hey, the time is now. I need to get that home loan now. I had a supporting partner to help me get this house, right? And so that also benefited in helping and aiding getting that home, which made everything comfortable, as well as having a good realtor team where everybody in my realtor team was also veterans. So they understood how it's like being a veteran and using a VA loan and how to properly use the VA loan because they used the VA loan. And their primary job is to take care of veterans, right? Because when you have a team full of veterans, everybody takes care of you.
Gotcha.
Everybody. They don't see color, they don't see division, they just see, hey, we want to put you in a home. And we want the home that you want. And I got the home that I wanted. I picked this place, right? And I got what I wanted. And I didn't dig myself too deep in the bank to get that done.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So you started before COVID.
Yes.
Had to put things on pause.
Yes.
You picked up again recently. When did you actually start shopping for houses?
So I started shopping for the house when I finally decided to start applying for disabilities through the VA, right?
Okay, gotcha.
Because I didn't know that the income you get with a VA from a disability also adds as passive income. So you can use that for a home and to get the home that you wanted, right? And as long as you're disabled, you're always going to get that disability. It's not going to be taken away from you like other benefits can, right? And so once I saw that opportunity, I was like, this is my only chance to get what I want. And I didn't just go for the low-hanging fruit. I went for the top, right?
Nice.
Because I couldn't afford to live where I was before. And now that I relocated to a much further place than home, I was able to get what I wanted with the new income that I discovered that I can get. And so with that being said, instead of getting income from the college, right, I'm getting it from the disability that the VA helped me get because I needed it, right?
Oh, there you go.
And at the same time, I also have my job that I work with, right? And so when you're combining all these incomes together, you'd be surprised what you can actually afford.
No kidding. Well, I'm glad that you pursued that because you earned it, and it's an added benefit. It's got you comfortable, probably more than comfortable at this point. So I'm very happy that you were able to achieve that.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah. So did you start looking for homes in 2024 then? Or was it?
I was actually looking at homes well before that.
Okay.
And I originally wanted to move closer to home, but when I realized that that wasn't an option, right? Because everybody bought up the stock during COVID who
Right.
had money. So that's when I made the decision just to get away from home completely.
Gotcha. How many offers did your realtor team submit for you before you finally got this one?
One.
I love that. I love that. That's amazing.
And the way we made that work was patience.
Uh-huh.
You cannot rush to get a home. If you rush for a home, it's a recipe for disaster, because you're going to get the low-income areas, right, which is crime-riddled.
Yeah.
You don't want that for a place where you want your family to be comfortable. You can't rush this.
Yeah.
You can't. Yes.
So it sounded like you did a lot of window shopping before you finally decided to write, and then you were.
But before that, right, I was only approved for X amount of money to get a home, right? Mm-hmm. And then I got a letter in the mail saying, hey, we're going to increase your disability from this to this because during our test, we noticed this. And little did I know that extra income wasn't a lot, but when you multiply it by X amount of months to 30 years, it adds up a lot, right?
Right.
And then I called my realtor team. I was like, hey, my disability increased a little bit. Can this help? And they're all like, yes, that's going to help a lot. And so I went from the low-hanging fruit to the top. I went to that top shelf stuff, you know what I mean? I was able to afford a more beautiful home, and the home that I wanted to get. And the key word there is patience.
Yeah.
That's all it is. You cannot rush this. I know sometimes veterans may not have that option of patience, but when you do have the option of patience, then that's when you know you're going to get what you want at the place that you want, or the region that you can possibly get, right? Because you're not going to always get what you want, but you can get something very, very, very close to it, right?
Right, of course. Well, I've seen your house. It's definitely top shelf. I love it. And
of course.
It strikes me as something a place you're going to be for a very long time.
A very long time.
Which is it was worth the wait.
Yes.
So talk to me a little bit about sacrifice, because I know that you don't work close to home.
Definitely not.
Okay. So it's resulting in maybe about 2.5 hours on the train.
Almost 3 hours each way.
Oh wow. Okay.
On top of my 8-hour shift. Mm-hmm. But remember, I get hour lunches, so it's actually 9-hour workday with 6 hours added on top of that 9. So my day will start off at 4 in the morning, and I sometimes won't get home until 8 o'clock at night. And then when that happens, I come home, take a deep breath, look at what I have, and I say it was completely worth it.
So what do you say to the veteran who is in a market that they can't afford, and they're like, I'm just going to continue to rent because I'm 15 minutes from work and I can't afford being here? What do you say to that veteran?
That's a very naive thinking, because when you are willing to pay rent for a closer home, you're not going to build future income. You're not going to build future wealth. You're not going to build future stability. You're going to ensure someone else who didn't serve that stability. So if you're a veteran, I behoove of you just to take that hour commute if you need to, that 2-hour commute if you need to. Because yes, as brutal as it is, being fatigued and tired, it's completely worth it knowing that on a weekend, you have a place to call home. Your home, nobody else's home. Because no true success comes without sacrifice.
Yeah,
and the VA loan is the future of veterans. And I believe that if veterans use the VA loan more often than they normally would, they would be more happier. And I see less veteran suicide coming out of it because you're more happy. I thought for a second I had to move out of state just to be more happier. But you don't necessarily have to leave home to be happy. Just move a slight distance away, right? Where you can still get access to your original home. You can still see your family. You can still see your friends that you grew up with.
Right.
And I can do that. And I was able to do that with the VA loan. And it's surprising that a lot of veterans don't like to use it because I see it all the time, especially on Facebook, right? You see, or on YouTube, you see all these sad stories of veterans, but none of them use their benefits the way they should. And if they did, I honestly believe that mental health in veterans would be much more pure, much more nice, much more accepting.
There it is. So I have one more question for you.
Of course.
So you have achieved this amazing accomplishment, and it's more than just a home. It sounds like it's affecting your mental health in a positive way. It's going to pay back with the equity, and so it's just an amazing decision.
Yes.
Do you think, because I know my dad was in the military, my husband, who was your former leader, was in the military, and I know that the military is not an easy employer. Having gone through everything that you've gone through, and now being where you are now, do you think that your time served in the military was worth it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Even without this, it was worth it because it gave me a place in this world, right? Before this, I was falling off into the wrong track. If I wasn't in the military, I would never have this. I would have to do what everybody else does and save 60, 70, 80 grand just for a down payment, right? And that's just to get approved to buy a house. Doesn't mean you're going to get the house because someone with more money can just come on top of that and take it away from you. With the VA loan, you don't worry about that so much. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
No, at the very most, you pay a funding fee at the very most. That's about it. At the end of the day, your realtor team takes care of you. They just tell you, hey, be here at this time, at this place. As long as you do that, you're going to get the home that you want. Just listen to direction and take the initiative to use these benefits. Yeah. Because if you do it, your depression will definitely get better in a way. I won't say it's just the cure for it, but the mental clarity of just having something for yourself and knowing around saying, hey, I sacrificed my younger years for this, but it was worth it. Now my future children have a place to call home.
Awesome. Well, David, thank you so much for sharing your story. This conversation was bigger than just a house. And so I appreciate you for trusting me enough to share this with me. So thank you very much.
Of course.
And again, thank you for your service.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for watching this video. Subscribe to my channel for more useful real estate related topics. And to my fellow servicemen, a heartfelt salute to you on this Veterans Day. I'm Darlene Perry, your San Francisco Bay Area Real Estate Connector. God bless.